last three is like boom, boom.
3, 2, 1, go.
Pretty much. All right. Ah, fuck my audition. Just close. Hold on a second.
I need to get like. I should probably move this to a tower computer eventually because I think the laptop's like.
Kill me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a laptop. It's not supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm ready. You guys are you ready to start recording?
Shit, fuck, cock. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Wow.
My pen got caught on my extremely hairy balls. If only there was some product.
Hey, I don't know what you did, but your mic sounds different.
Is it really?
Oh, there it is. Back to normal.
Oh,
That's
okay.
weird.
That's.
Oh yeah, let me check my thing because it was. Yeah.
Maybe it's just on your end then. Because all he did was move closer, and that was it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's automatically my fault. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, probably.
Wow. This is why nobody likes you.
I don't care if anybody likes me. I only care if they fear me.
We're gonna share to the group. Oh, there.
Hey, Alex. Did your character eat today? What? No, I mean, no, it's too late. You didn't eat anything. Exhaustion. Everybody gets exhaustion.
That's exactly how I imagine it's gonna be.
Yeah. I want there to be one part where I am aiming for one part where everyone's like, you know, Jose's character really hasn't been pulling his weight. we could just eat him.
Meanwhile, I'm like hoarding all the food.
Yeah. You play like the most like worthless class for this.
Yeah.
You're like a fucking mastermind rogue or some shit like that.
In the middle of the fucking desert. Oh god. I mean, tundra.
It's essentially the same thing. It's just the polar opposite in terms of like temperature, but it's literally the exact same thing otherwise. So.
I am sharing.
Isn't the Antarctic tundra like the world's biggest desert by that definition or something like that?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I know it was like a fun fact, and because nobody expects it.
But it's really everyone's like the Sahara, and your 7th grade geography teacher's like, you bunch of fucking morons,
idiots! Oh, how dare you not know? No. Why don't you know the whole subject? You know, coming to school.
Oh, you like geography? Name every country.
Fucking putos. Okay, ready?
Yes.
My mic is acting weird. I don't know what the hell. All right. 3, 2, 1, record, and 3, 2, 1, sync. Ready?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
3, 2, 1, record.
Recording. All right. Off to a good start.
Mine didn't record.
Never mind. All right. Do you want me to stop it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now it's going to be like, oh, you're going to drop all the audio now.
What the fuck? Hold on. Ew. Pero que cochino. What the fuck?
You realize that if we do take that sponsor, what? What's wrong?
My audition just took a shit. There it is.
It didn't like delete itself from the computer, did it?
No, but it like hiccup and I closed it so I can get it again. Sorry, people. Now you get to see my task manager.
Fear will keep them in line.
Okay, let's see. Episode 41. Oh, you know what? I didn't check my audio levels. Oh, I am good. Wait, no, I'm a little. Keep talking. I'm talking. Testing.
You're really loud now.
Really?
You're really loud. Yeah.
How about now?
That's better.
That's better? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
That's much better.
Almost feels like there's like a delay or something. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Attack. Okay. Just gonna calm that down.
Hello and welcome to another episode of A Talk of Opportunity. Brought to you by Smooth My Balls.
Audio hardware.
You do realize if we take that deal, I'm gonna be hawking it in the worst way possible.
Oh, I know.
Right?
I know you will. Okay. All right. Let's start recording again. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, record.
All right.
3, 2, 1, record.
Recording.
There you go. I gotta go sound wave now. Now,
all
3,
right.
2, 1, sync. Ready?
Sync. Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1,
2,
sync.
1, sync.
Cool.
Yeah.
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 My sound wave is a bit smaller than it usually is, and it concerns me a little bit.
If you want to up your end, then by all means go on ahead.
Just like no. Let me see. Let's crank it up just a little bit. Testing. Am I too loud for you?
No, that's fine.
Okay. How about now?
That's fine.
No, I think there's something going on. I'll figure it out later. But it is recording, so that's all that matters. And my voice is going through. Ready. Here we go. We finally got all the technical difficulties out of the way. As traditional.
Speaking of testicle difficulties,
Sandra, we haven't even gotten sponsored yet.
Who's my balls? Is the old whatever.
All right. Here we go. We're gonna try a new intro. Welcome to another episode of A Talk of Opportunity, a podcast about everything tabletop. And this is Jose, and with me as usual, my friend Andrew.
Hello.
And today we're talking about beholders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play the music. Oh wait, I do it. Whatever. I'll fix it in post.
What?
I didn't have the music queued up, but whatever.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
All right, Andrew.
Kevin can deal with it.
Yeah, I know. Kevin's gonna show up in the last 20 minutes. Hey guys. Oh shit.
God damn it.
All right, Andrew. We're talking today about the most magical of all creatures, the one that has a whole freaking Pixar universe dedicated to it. Beholders.
Hold on. A whole Pixar universe?
Yeah. Mike Wazowski.
You're gonna have to. Oh my gosh, that was.
Hey, we're back down to 0 viewers. All right.
Yeah, I wonder why.
All right.
Quick, push the sponsorship deal.
Okay, Andrew. Before we get talking about beholders, though, what are you drinking today?
Behold, I am drinking a transient artisan ale from Bridgman, Michigan called Poppin' Pastels. It's a sour wheat with guava, pineapple, key lime, milk sugar, and vanilla.
Ooh, fancy.
Don't do that near the mic. Don't clip the audio, Andrew.
Do it right next to the mic.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I did. So I finally was able to go to the little boutique bottle shop that I wanted to go to and get some weird beers.
Oh, nice.
Because I've been feeling like I've been doing a real, just sort of like, hey, what did the guy at the grocery store that's not Michelob Light? Okay, that's good enough for the show. So
just go out of your way.
Yeah.
All right. I'm drinking an Orange Crush American wheat beer with wildflower honey and sweet orange peel.
Oh, I thought you were having like an Orange Crush, like orange soda. Like, you fucker.
No.
Oh, I really like the artwork for that.
Look at that. It's so pretty.
Yeah, the artwork for mine is just kind of like, it's just banners. Like, that's,
Oh, yeah, lame.
So, yeah, it's really, I'm hoping the beer itself is better than the artwork.
I went to the brewery down the street. It's not good, or it's good?
No, it's different. It's really different.
Made a weird difference in what way?
Like, it's sour. Hold on, let me get another taste so I can kind of get a good profile on it. It smells really weird.
Ooh, oh wow, this is really good.
All right, so it's sour, and then the sour kind of dips into just the acidic.
Yeah.
And then it comes back up in like a sort of creaminess, and it rounds itself off at the end. I'm not saying it's bad, but man, that is going from like Yingling to this is like fucking whiplash.
Yeah, you've been drinking a lot of really normal beers.
Yeah.
This one is really it's like you can really taste the wheat.
That's a wheat ale with orange.
An American wheat, but it has wildflower honey, which you can taste it, but it's weirder. It's not sweet. It's like, the coating that honey does on your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
That aftertaste after that, that's kind of what you feel. And then the sweet orange peel is like right on top. It's like crisp. Like, imagine an orange peel, like when you twist it, like you get that really strong orangey, but it doesn't overpower the wheat beer itself.
This tastes like a really well. I mean, it says it's transient artisan ales. So I mean, I'm kind of getting what I pay for here,
Right.
which I paid a lot for this one can. But
It was $20.
I mean, it was 7. So, but it feels like a really like artisanal
It was
dessert.
$20.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's like it looks like a key lime pie, and then you drink. I mean, you drink or you eat it, whatever. You're like,
Right.
ooh, and all these like flavor notes start popping off. Like this is probably the most, I would say, complex beer I've had in the past couple months.
Oh,
So,
nice. Yeah,
and that's a good thing. I'm saying that as a good thing. So.
Yeah, no. This one is brewed and canned by Hidden Springs Ale Works, Franklin Street, Tampa. Shout out to Tampa Bay. Woo.
Yeah, I love this city.
Well, you're technically like an hour away, so you don't count.
I know. It has 2 of my favorite things. It's got beer and death metal. That's all I fucking care about.
Oh shit! All right, so before we keep talking about beer for another 30 minutes, let's get to the subject in matter right now.
When are we actually gonna have like a full blown beer episode? We need to have like a beer flight episode.
I think it is scheduled. Do you want me to check?
Like we need to have like, that needs to be like a bonus episode, not like a main episode, but like a sort of like, oh, you know, for the people that donated $1 to our Patreon or some shit like that.
Yeah, because we have a Patreon that we don't.
Eventually, maybe, hopefully.
We don't have a Patreon.
No, we don't.
Nobody cares enough. Our Patreon is our wallet. That's what it is.
Kevin would be on our Patreon, hopefully, right, Kevin? Guys, I'm 7. I don't have any money.
No, we have an episode coming up called Home Brews, in parentheses, not beer.
Oh. I'm really tempted to get a beer kit for that one and make my own beer.
Oh my
Be
God.
like, Andrew, what are you drinking this week? My own brew.
My own piss, and it's cold.
Well, how is it, Andrew? It's all right.
It took a whole month, but you know, whatever.
It's okay. That would be disappointing.
You know what else is disappointing, Andrew?
Beholders?
Beholders. No, they're not. Not at all.
No, absolutely not.
Not at all. All right. So, Andrew, beholders. I'm going to tell you everything I know about them. They're a ball. They have a lot of eyeballs. They can dream. They're paranoid, and filled with anxiety. So, essentially, me.
You forgot about the fact that they shoot laser beams out of their eyes. All right, so that concludes this episode of A Talk of Opportunity. Join us on our Facebook page and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, smash that like button.
All right.
And all right,
I'll see you all next week. Bye.
All right.
Only if it was that easy.
Yeah, right.
You ain't getting away with it.
Fucking 6 minutes talking about beer. Just like a minute and a half. Not even a minute.
Not even
and a half on the
And beholders can shoot a laser set off inside.
All right. What more do you want? Anyway, let's start this show.
All right. So what's your? I want to know your experience with beholders, because I know they're one
I've
of.
literally never fought a beholder, and the only session that you did fight a beholder, I missed out on because of adult responsibilities.
Well, to be fair, I did not know that you like beholders so much. It was after I told you.
To be fair, it's not that I want to fight a beholder. I don't. I want to run a beholder. I want to be the one pulling the levers.
Dude.
I don't want to be the one in front of the Gatling gun of death. Dude, that is a beholder.
All I remember from that, it was in Roll20. So, you know, we talked about this, how Roll20 takes away the dungeon master headache out of the equation, right? Because it's all there. It's a lot easier to keep track of things. I got that headache back because of running the beholder.
Okay, so that actually brings up a really good point, because right away, even before digging any deeper into like the beholder mechanics, like my first impression upon reading beholders was that this is the exact opposite of giants. Yes. And so far in the fact that like while giants are lore rich and mechanic poor, like beholders are like it don't bother with the lore because you're going to be so busy on everything else. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the lore. And I'm going to go first because I think the what I have about the origin of beholders is a lot more boring than what you found. So we can end up with
it might or it might not be.
So for what I understood, this is how beholders came to be, and by me came to be like the actual concept of beholders. So imagine,
like in game, not like in universe.
Right. So imagine, it's like 1972 or so. It's the Gary Gygax at his house with a group of friends right before game, and then they're just chilling, drinking a Orange Crush beer, talking about the taste. It's really nice. And Gary Gygax is at the table, prepping. He's the DM. So everybody else is just kind of like, finger foods and whatever, all this stuff. And he hears one of his friends talk about a horrible nightmare that he woke up from that night. He just like describes it as the most horrendous thing ever. He never wants to see it again or deal with it ever. Luckily for him, Gary Gygax overheard this story. So what does every good DM and friend does?
Take that phobia and turn it into something they have to fight later on.
Yeah, he gave it stats. He gave it a ugly drawing.
Tell me exactly what it looked like.
No. He didn't ask because it was a surprise for him. He came up with the golf ball on the spot. Needless to say, he didn't talk to his friend for like 3 days after that.
Did he? Was it really just like, dude? I told you a fucking confidence, man. I didn't want to bring that up.
No. But the story that like his friend, you ever heard?
You know that thing embodied my parents' divorce.
Yeah. Well, here it is. And it's
now you get to beat it up.
Hey, maybe that's what it was. But
Come on, Ted. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
So yeah, essentially, Gary Gygax overheard his friend talk about a horrible nightmare that he had, and he just put stats to it and introduced it in the game as a beholder. And then officially, it was introduced in '79, I believe. In the first, it was literally called Supplement 1 for the Greyhawk game.
Really? Okay, so it's so OG it doesn't even take from popular culture. It is a pure OC do not steal.
Yeah.
Creation.
It's,
okay.
Like we have orcs, we have goblins, all this stuff that's been taken like from Lord of the Rings mainly, and other stories, and then you have a beholder. Like who the fuck thought of this? Well, somebody's
that's just like where did this come from? Yeah. And the funny part about it is that I did just a little bit of digging. But nobody really knows where beholders came from.
in universe, right?
Yeah. In universe, I was like, okay, I'm obviously gonna look in the 5e books. Gonna look in Volo's. Gonna look in the 3.5 Monster Manual. Gonna look on some wikis, and everyone's just like, oh, here's the attitude and layers of a beholder. Right. Where did they come from? That's actually a really good question. Never really thought of it that way.
Which if
we're kind of more concerned about how to get rid of them,
right?
Not really
where they come from. They haven't gotten far enough into getting rid of them to actually try to solve the problem completely.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but to me, it's a lot more terrifying the fact that nobody really knows where he came from. Like
exactly.
Like how did that happen?
And it's just like, well, I mean, we know in universe where they live. They mainly live in the Underdark, or that's generally believed where they nest in. But where they actually come from, nobody knows.
These guys are aberrations.
Yes, and I did a little bit more research, probably more research than I was originally going to, but I had this nagging question in the back of my brain. And I found a supplemental for 3.5 called what's it called? Oh God, something of madness. I think it's like the Tomes of Madness. Hold on, give me. I'm losing credibility as the clock ticks down. Hold on.
Everybody's watching.
The Lords of Madness, which is like I said, 3.5 supplement just purely for aberrations.
Ooh, it's $109.
Yeah. But it covers aboleths, it covers mind flayers, it obviously covers beholder. So everything, if it says aberration on the side, it kind of goes into detail. So even with this book that's all about where these things came from, the best they can surmise was that there was a great cosmic being called the Great Mother, and that it just spawned beholders. And that's it. That's where they came from.
Because you want it?
Just felt like it one day. Just, you know what? I want to make this little ball of hate that has 9 laser beams attached to its fucking head. And
isn't it 10?
And well, I mean, attached to its head, and then there's the like the the anti magic fog light in the center, and then all beholders believe thereafter is like, oh, I was literally made in the Great Mother's image, and that's where the whole like no I'm the best beholder thing came from.
Ah,
Now here's the funny thing: beholders reproduce.
yeah. Wow.
Okay, so here we go. You might want to take a big swig of that beer before we go any further, because this is the part where I'm like, I should not have read this, and my mind kind of broke from the knowledge of it. So, Beholder's lifespan is, I don't know. I probably don't care. They probably live forever, and then we kill them. It's like a lobster. But within 40 years of their lifespan, something begins to grow in a sack underneath their tongue. And as it grows, it takes months of this to happen. And it's described that they get more violent, more cantankerous, and more paranoid. And as it's growing, they're even hungrier than they are before, and they eat quadruple the amount of food that they normally require. Eventually, the nutrients that they're consuming causes this thing underneath their tongue to keep growing to the point that the beholder can't eat anymore. It's actually shut off their mouth. At which point, the beholder retches up a amniotic sac full of baby beholders, severs it with its teeth, and all the little beholders like out of the bag. Now here's the crazy part.
That's not the crazy part.
Well, that actually kind of was the crazy part. But then here's the thing. The beholder mother, there's no gender for these things.
It's a fucking tongue blister and just throws it up.
Yeah, it's disgusting to even think about. Which, by the way, if any of my like characters in a campaign witness that, they're gonna take psychic damage.
Even if the DM doesn't call for it.
Yeah, no. So then the beholder babies are birthed out of the sack, and the beholder chooses one. That's like, which one of these guys looks the most like me? You? Okay. I'm going to give you a 30-minute head start. And then he eats the rest of them, or it eats the rest of them. And that's why there's not as many beholders as there probably should be, thank God.
Wait, so no, hold on. No, because that's a 3.5 thing, right?
That's a 3.5 thing, correct.
Okay, because that's fucking terrifying. I think they looked at that for 5 and they're like, no, we're gonna simplify that.
Where do beholders come from? They just do. Well, I mean, because what you really have to think about is that in the monster manual, it talks about where death tyrants and spectators and all the other beholder can come from, but it doesn't talk about where the OG beholder comes from.
Wait,
yeah, where
doesn't it comes if he dreams of itself? Like if he sees if he sees another beholder.
I think that's where the spectator comes from. I could be wrong. I might hold on.
I'm pretty sure if they see themselves in a dream, they legit manifest that in the world, and then when they wake up, it's just waiting there to kill it. That's what I'm saying. Like they simplified it because that is fucking disgusting what you just said. They're also extremely xenophobic and paranoid. I love that they always think that everything is out to kill it. That's how important they think. That's how they see themselves. That's how important they think they are to the world.
Let's see. I am looking up. Okay, so. Well, I'm not saying anything, so that's canon for me now. The whole like.
I mean, that's a lot more engaging than just dreaming it. Hey,
Well,
Kevin's here.
Hey, all right, now we can get this party started. All right, thanks for joining us on this episode. However, I do like the fact that the death tyrant. Mm-hmm. It's made when a beholder has to confront its own mortality for the first time.
Oh yeah. And he's like, "No, I don't accept that."
And it's like, wait a minute, I can die, and it just like all the skin falls off, and now it's just a death tyrant.
No. Look, it's right here. When the beholder sleeps, its body goes briefly dormant, but its mind never stops working. The creature is fully aware, even though to an outside observer, it might appear oblivious of its surrounding. Sometimes the beholder's dream are dominated by images of itself or of other beholders, which might or might not actually exist. On extremely rare occasions, when a beholder dreams of another beholder, the act creates a warped reality from which a new, fully formed beholder springs forth, unbidden, seemingly having appeared out of thin air in a nearby space. This offspring, might be duplicated as a beholder that dreamed it into existence, or it could take the form of a different variety of beholders, which is where the rest comes in. And I think depending on the dream, is what happens to each beholder, right? Like you just said, like if in the dream, it faces its mortality for the first time, then it becomes a
if it dreams about its own mortality, I think it either becomes a death tyrant or it spawns a death tyrant. And then if it has a dream about like pain,
right,
or like wounds or anything like that, that's when it comes up with the what's it called, like the death's kiss or something like that. The one with the little tentacles,
the one that's one eye.
Yeah.
No, if it dreams of himself bleeding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is like a really specific thing. Right.
I just like to imagine, because like, so my understanding of beholders is that they're solitary creatures, and they try to go away from everybody as much as possible, or at least that was until 5 came along, and then they started having minions. And the beholder will create its lair, which is just confusing, with hallways leading nowhere.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it later. That's its own segment.
And then it just kind of like, it's like everything's out to kill me. I'm gonna stay here, and literally everything it built is to like defend itself. But
that was a really good beer. I definitely get that again.
But they get so tired of being filled with anxiety and being paranoid and thinking about all the possible ways. And what I mean that they think everything's out to kill it, I don't mean like, oh, he saw a group of adventurers with a wanted sign of his face on it. No. I mean like, he fucking somehow sees a piece of toast fall on the table, and he thinks that the toast is out to kill it.
Yeah.
And
someone obviously
obsesses with it. Yeah.
Someone obviously planted a faulty toaster in this place, because the one day he's going to take a bath, someone's going to put that toaster in the bath with him.
Yeah, it's
or
like
something like that.
Crazy stuff. And he's constantly thinking about all this.
Imagine if Batman was paranoid. Like someone that has like a contingency plan for everybody.
Everything. Yep.
Had like severe like schizophrenic paranoia, where it's like no, everybody's out to kill me. And it could be somewhere where it's like, it kind of goes without saying, with that being said, that like a beholder trusts nobody.
Yep.
Probably not even themselves. And so naturally any of its minions are going to be like expendable to the nth degree.
Right. Which is why, I like to think that they're so tired of all this bullshit on that everyday daily, that when they fall asleep hard. But it's like, when you're like working on a big project, and then you go to take a nap to rest, and you still have that project going on in your head. So you wake up and you're still tired. I think I like to think that that's how they process all the information and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, you also have to think.
Kevin asked if all beholders think like that. Yes. Yeah.
All beholders are paranoid to an absurd degree. They are It's weird, because in 5e they're described as being paranoid, but also arrogant, like about themselves to like an absolutely absurd degree. And to the point that like those two things clash, and that's probably the only reason why they're ever defeated in combat, is because those are the two wolves fighting inside of a beholder. Is like the fact that they are the top of the food chain, and then the fact that everything is trying to kill them, and they're just
and really the only reason you will destroy a beholder is because it itself already like defeated himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's really what it is. He says interesting. He didn't know that. Yeah. And you will never find, if you find two beholders next to each other, they're probably already fighting. You're in the middle of everything. Like they're never gonna be like, oh, let's unite forces and try to get these adventures. Like no. First of all, let's say that one beholder thinks that. Actually, do even beholders acknowledge other beholders?
They don't. It's from what I've understand. What it is that a beholder thinks it is the beholder,
right?
And if it sees another beholder, it's an instant like, nope, I have to defeat you for dominance.
Right. Yeah, and it's always to the point of like, for example, let's say that you are in Florida, and you don't know that there's beholders out there, but you have an idea there's something out there to kill you.
If there's one place a beholder would be, it'd be in Florida.
Yeah, actually, I think it lives in Palm Beach. Anyways, and let's say like the toast, and then he starts thinking about like maybe another beholder put the toast there to kill me. He will grab. He's so paranoid that he will grab all his minions and like go into this like rampage, like everything that's related to toast we have to destroy. All the toast, all the bread, all the weed, all the mills, everything from here onto California. You know, like it just goes nuts. Everything to
and we're not going to stop at the grain. We're going to go for the toast factories. We're going to go for the bakers who provides the heat coils and stuff like that. We're going to, you know, it's
it's extremely obsessive.
And with enough time and money, one beholder could probably take over the world. And but like I said before, it's also arrogant, right. and it thinks that it's already kind of dominated the world, and it's like, oh, it's just a matter of time, kind of a you know. And
also they're extremely paranoid, so they wouldn't really go out in the open. Like for example, the Sanitars Guild in Waterdeep is run by a beholder, but that beholder is like deep down in like the Undermountain. You're not gonna find them somewhere.
The entire time we were playing Dragon Heist, we were dealing with Xanathar's people, and we never once even got like an inkling that the fact that it was ran by a beholder. You know, I mean, if there's going to be any monster or villain for a campaign that would have an actual network of minions and like thugs and stuff, it would be a beholder.
Yeah. And he will only trust, and by being trust, I mean like quote unquote, like this guy has done nothing wrong, and he's too weak to even like damage me, like probably like one person.
Well, and also you have to if you read the Volo's guide, it uses its eye stalks outside of combat to keep its underlings in line. Like it'll you know use its charm ray to like win over like a losing faction, and it'll use its fear ray to subjugate and torment its own followers.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. So we have a little bit of an inkling on what beholders and how they behave. Before we go into mechanics of the actual beholder and their layers and all the other like nitty-gritty stuff, let's talk a little bit about the different type of beholders, quote unquote, that they are. So I have a list. Hold on. So we have, I think the smallest one is the Gazer, right?
I thought it was the Spectator. No, it might be the Gazer. You might be right.
Yeah, I think the Gazer is like the tiny little guy. And it's usually, for what I remember, a Gazer it's usually summoned, right, by a wizard. Or am I thinking of something else? I think I'm thinking of something else.
No, it resembles a beholder that dreamed it into its own existence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it can't speak. It's not intelligent enough for speech. It's essentially a pet for the beholder.
Oh, then I'm probably thinking of something different. The Gazer are born out of a poison or ill beholder's feverish dream. So is this like an actual fever dream?
Probably. And now it does say that a Gazer can become a wizard's familiar. So there is that as well.
That's probably what I was thinking then. Yeah. So that's the Gazer. They're tiny. They're not the most powerful ones, and like you said, for what I remember, they act very mechanically, as in like they will guard this one door and they will just like pace back and forth.
Yeah, they're guard dogs for the beholder.
Yeah.
And I mean, they are actual pets for the beholder. They will follow a beholder obsessively. They'll if it had heels, it would be circling around its heels and stuff.
I just love how angry they look.
Oh yeah, no, they look really angry, and then you see it's a tiny aberration, so it's like a boop.
Yeah, and it's like 13 hit points. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to say that. That's a DM secret.
It has 13 hit points.
Oh! And then after that one, we had the spectator, which is, I think, out of all of the beholders, is probably the most common one you're gonna find in a regular adventure. Because it's like scary enough to remind players that there are beholders out there, but it's still a winnable fight, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah, the spectator is probably going to be like if you have like a low level party and for some reason you want to throw a beholder like a level 3 to 5 party, probably the spectator would be a good monster to throw at them to sort of like it. I feel like the spectator is like a beholder with training wheels.
Right. It's one of the lesser evils, but it can still pose a threat, and it only has 4 eye stalks, which means only 4 rages.
But I mean, still, that's
Yeah, and
that for like I said, for a low level party that's probably never seen this. I mean, like a spectator would be really good for like if you're running like a one shot for players that's never seen or played D&D before, and you kind of want to give them like the full experience. Like this is like a little like demo beholder, to kind of throw at them.
And then we have the goth, right? Goth.
Yeah, goth.
Yeah. And I don't know much about these guys. Although they look like fucking terrifying, evil little shits.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to look up where the Gauths come from, because all it says like it
hails from the same place as a spectator, or one that overlaps it enough that they can take advantage of the flood attempted to summon a spectator. Although true beholders can be found. Oh, so it's essentially when somebody tries to summon a spectator, but they don't want to.
It goes wrong.
Yeah, then one of these bad boys come out, which. If you look at the picture, they just look like they're screaming. So I just imagine that they're like always in pain. God. So like they go to summon a spectator and they like miss. I don't know what the components are, but they like miss like one small calculation. And it seems like it's gonna work. And at first, like a spectator appears, but then like it changes colors and just starts screaming, and it gets summoned. Yeah, like in terror. And the wizard's like, okay, it went wrong, but at least I have a goth. And then. And then it doesn't stop screaming like ever.
It's just always in the background. I just realized that it has little tiny eyes around its big eye. That's disgusting.
What's the name of that phobia? Topophobia? Is that what it is? Oh, topophobia.
Oh yeah, like trypopophobia, where it's like where like the fear of little tiny holes.
Yeah. That, dude, it brings me there, and that thing is fucking terrifying. And once again, this one has. I know that it only has an attack for its bite and its eye rays, but it'd also be really funny if it had like a snack attack. For, it does have tentacles.
Does it really?
Yeah, it has 2 tentacles. 4 tentacles.
But it doesn't have any attacks for that. It just has bite and eye rays, but it doesn't have anything like unarmed like slap attack. It gently brushes you with one of its. Make a wisdom save to not be like weirded out by it.
and then after that we have probably one of the most scary ones, the death tyrant, which yeah, what you said earlier is essentially when a beholder comes to the realization that they can actually die, and they willingly just like, nope, I'm not gonna die, fuck this, like, and they like will that into existence, and yes, they're not gonna die, but they're gonna lose their quote unquote mortality and become essentially a lich.
I mean, okay, yeah. I'm really glad you brought that up. Let's kind of take a step back here and realize that these guys have such a strong grasp on the arcane. They could just be like, "Now I'm going to be a lich now," and they just become a lich. Right. Whereas like even dragons have to work and like slave and get the proper components and still might fail to become a lich. Yep. And Beholder's just like, no,
nah,
it just becomes a lich.
Look at me now.
Yeah,
look at me now. I'm the lich now.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, you guys want to see something cool? And then like all the skin starts falling off.
Oh, Jesus!
Oh my god, I don't want to be here anymore. Meanwhile, the goth in the background. Ah!
Also, I like to think that his eye stacks are just like nonstop.
Yeah, just flapping around.
But
my life is pain.
but the death tyrant is so fucking cool because it's like it's a beholder without skin. That's really it. And it has the
No. Oh, no. It has one big major component.
What?
The anti-energy eye instead of the anti-magic eye is the anti-energy eye.
Oh,
where
shit.
it's like
the negative energy cone. Yeah.
Yeah. If you die in that cone, you're not coming back.
That's it.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. No spells can bring you back. Not even wish. Like you're not coming back.
Which is badass as fuck if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is the monster you whip out when you really want to serve your characters up some humble pie. Just like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. Death Tyrant just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Why is there a Death Tyrant in Icewind Dale? Because fuck you.
Does it matter?
Yeah. No. Fight this thing. Initiative.
No. in the background, you have the god.
Why is he here?
And then after the most terrifying one, I think we have the cutest of all the beholders.
You're kidding.
He's so cute.
The Death Kiss?
Yeah, look at that thing.
He's not cute. No, it's not cute.
He's looking at you with those like puppy eye, not eyes, eye.
Yeah, but then it comes at you with its tentacles with latches and sucks the blood out of you. Yeah, it's fucking adorable.
It's so cute. I was like, this guy is like sleepy.
Wait a minute. Why does the blood drain do lightning damage?
I was just thinking about that. Lightning blood. A creature within 5 feet of the Death Kiss takes 1d10 lightning damage whenever it hits a Death Kiss with a melee attack that deals piercing or slashing damage. I have no idea.
See, this one can slap you around with its tentacles. Why can't the other one do that?
Because this was cute. And then, of course, we have the one and only. Unless there's another one around and then they start fighting each other. The Beholder.
No. You forgot an important one, my friend.
Which one?
You forgot the Mind Witness.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Which is a beholder that somehow got caught by some mind flayers and did some experimentations on. Which, by the way,
where's that one at?
It's under mind flayers. It's not under the beholders. Which if any creatures like lore thing starts with captured by mind flayers and experimented on, you're in for a fucking bad time, my friend.
Wait, do you have the page?
Yeah, it is. Let me see. It is page 176.
I saw the picture of this and I completely forgot. Oh, God.
Now, I mean...
Mind Witness. Jesus Christ!
Now, it does take a really big hit in terms of what it can dish out, but the problem with it is that it's a beholder that is under the control of mind flayers and is therefore in the network of mind flayers. So even if...
It knows everything that mind flayers do.
Yeah, so even if you do take out this mind witness, you still have to deal with mind flayers afterwards because every mind flayer in the known universe will know you're there. Because it even says that it's essentially like a hot spot for telepathy. Like that's the whole reason why they why they stole it is because it's just like it just branches out to other mind flayers.
Right. So wow, that's so fucking creepy as shit, dude. Tentacles. I like how it has like tentacles at the bottom and then the eye stalks on top.
I think what's really neat. I think what's really like disturbing is the fact that it has tentacles on the top, it has tentacles at the bottom, and then it looks like it has tentacles that were cut off on the sides. Like there's just like little stubs.
Just to keep it under control by the mind flayers, I guess. Whoa.
But then like the central eye is like gone blind due to the experimentations on it, so it still just has like the top eye stalks like pew, 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 just kind of shooting off at random.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it's like
Mind Witness.
Yeah, it's not as mechanically scary as the regular beholder, but just the implications behind it. Like these mind flayers got a hold of a beholder.
Dude, I want to do a freaking adventure with mind flayers. I find mind flayers so interesting, like everything about them. Anyways, but we're talking about beholders.
We even talked about like, well, we should have an episode about mind flayers. I'm like, wait, no, we shouldn't until we have an adventure.
Yeah, we need to experience that.
Yeah.
All right, so we have the cute one. We have the terrifying dead beholder. We have the mind reader fucking goo blind thing. We have the one that was summoned by a wizard. We have the
one that was also summoned by a wizard, but
it
fucked
went
up because they
wrong.
had one line wrong.
We have the pet one, the tiny little cute one. But most importantly, let's talk about what makes a beholder a beholder. Damn it! Why is it still here?
Get out of here, God.
What, Andrew? What makes a beholder a beholder? Actually, I should probably lead this conversation. This one specific right now.
What makes a beholder beholder? I'm glad I'm going to answer my own question here. No, that's fine. Go ahead.
Because I just remember. Okay, all right. So I haven't necessarily like studied beholders. Like I know everything about them. But we were playing Tomb of Annihilation, and we were down deep in the middle of the Tomb of the Nine Gods, right? Crazy ass shit was happening the whole time. Rooms with all kind of matters of traps and monsters and everything. But then we get to this one level, right? And the one main feature of this level is that it's actually pretty clean, except for this purple mold all around it, right? And the players are like, "Oh, what is this? Oh, what is that? Whatever." And they touch it, and like an eyeball shows up. And at this point, I'm thinking, I mean, how do you not know what's gonna happen next, right? Because I know I'm the DM, so and now an eyeball just popped out of the mold.
That's one of those things where you're just like, duh, all the clues are right there.
Right.
Because I'm holding the book that says what this thing is.
Right. But then they go through this whole level, and there's like a bunch of different orbs that they're finding, right? They kill like a random, like a skeleton, like nothing that there's not a threat or anything, and just they drops out an orb, a weird orb, and they find 10 of them through the whole thing, and then they get to this final area. It was like the only way they could go, and it's this narrow but very tall door with a circular lock mechanism that had the space for the orbs to go. Of course, the wizard Howard at that point was like, "Oh." As soon as I was done describing the door, and I could see it in his face, the terror of the realization settling in of what was going to happen. But he didn't say anything. He just left it at, "Oh." And then everybody else like, "Oh, I get it. Let's just open the door with all the orbs that we have." Clink, 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 clink. And then the door opens. And it's a perfectly pristine white room. Everything. It's circular for starters. It's a circular room, cylinder-like, and then a dome at the top, right? Nothing is here except for a weird orb floating in the middle of the room with a drape over it. And they're like, "Okay, well, this is weird." What they don't know is there's not only just a beholder in the room besides the orb thing, but the beholder is invisible.
Okay.
And they don't know this, but they are already in the cone of in the anti-magic cone, because the thing which I'll talk about the how to run this thing, but like I had the thing open, I have my dice, we're ready to go, right? And then the whole thing is that they had to like uncover the orb in the middle. When they uncover it, it was like this like metal dome that was actually a magnet, and the magnet was magically dampened by this cloth. But once they opened it, anybody who had like a shield or armor or anything metallic, it will get pulled by it. So all of them get pulled by it except for like the druid or whatever. And the battle commences. And they're like, "What the fuck is attacking us?" And then Howard at that point, he's like, "Guys, I think we're fighting a beholder." This fight took, and I kid you not, it almost broke into 2 sessions. Because it was
Jesus Christ.
It was from beginning to, it was like the whole, I think at that point we were playing like 4 hours or so. It was almost 4 hours of gameplay. And for them it was just like, oh, a bunch of really random rays or whatever. But for me, because I wasn't doing the select the ray and then shoot. I was doing the roll a d10 to see which one shoots 3 times, because it shoots rays 3 times. So it was completely random for me, which I thought was gonna make the mechanic portion of it easier for me, but no, it made it so much worse because I was an idiot and I was like, oh, I'll just do it randomly. So I was rolling a d10 to select that ray that was gonna shoot, and then another d6 to select who it was gonna hit. So it was completely random. That was mistake number 1. Because if you're running a beholder, learn the rays and learn which player is going to get affected by it the most and use it that way.
Yep.
Because the random thing, even though it sounds like it will work, it doesn't work.
What I was thinking was reading up on beholders, especially on Volo's guide, where it talks about like underlings and minions and crap like that. A beholder fight, especially for the appropriate level, like I think I was like a level 10 party at that point.
Yeah, it was very close to the end. So 10.
A beholder fight, if done like perfectly, is the perfect counter attack for every class.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, everything you think of. Okay, you have a really strong fighter in your group. Well, it's gonna have to fight through this wave upon wave of enemies, and then it's got to deal with a disintegration ray or something like that. You got spellcasters. Nope, anti-magic takes care of that real quick. And then I mean, it's just like, if you really think about it, you can. If you honestly focus in on it, like the beholder can be like the fight that will probably be even better than like the main boss fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because in all reality, you do have all the tools to counteract any kind of gameplay, because almost all of them require a save. And almost, if you know your characters, don't use the Constitution on the fighter. Use the raid that requires a Constitution saving throw on the freaking wizard, and so forth. Hit your fighters with like the sleep ray, because that's a wisdom saving throw. Or charm them.
Hit your or charm them, and then just have the fighter switch sides, and then hit your spellcasters with once they're inside the anti-magic. Well, actually no, if they're inside the anti-magic cone, the other rays don't affect them.
Yeah.
But that's when you hit them with the Constitution ones or the Dexterity ones. And there's a perfect counterattack for every.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it is the one thing really going for a beholder is distance.
Yeah.
Like you have to keep a wall between,
The only thing is that they move very slow. What is it, 20?
It's 20 feet.
Yeah. And they move very slow.
But it is also hovering. So like anything like what's that spell where like thorns come out of the ground or something like that?
Yes, the druid spell with the thorns. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh god. It's like entangle. Like that's not going to affect them.
Right.
They don't have feet on the ground.
Right.
So
and then just have him hovering 20 feet above the air, and then make him go out. Cause I think almost every ray has like 150, isn't it?
Yeah. The rain.
No, it's different. It's different for each one. Yeah. But for the most part, I mean, you can get pretty far away from the general fight.
Well, the anti-magic is 150. All the other ones are 120. But still, that's ridiculous. Like that's. I mean, even then, if the characters aren't taking dash actions, that's 3 rounds they have to clear before they get to a beholder, and that's not including if they have minions in between the beholder and them. Which, if you're a beholder, they should.
Yeah. Always the cannon fodder in the middle. The beholder does not care. That's No. He knew it. He knew that this moment was going to happen, and he prepared for it.
Yeah, role playing as a beholder, or just preparing the adventure as a beholder should be probably the most fun a DM can have.
Yeah,
because it's just. I mean, do you want to talk about their layers, or do you want to talk about some beholders?
Actually, before we go into the layer, let's talk about the rays. So people that don't know. So I'm gonna let's just alternate. So without going over the main eyeball in the middle, which is the anti-magic cone, which is pretty self-explanatory. Right. The way it works is you can either choose which ray shoots to whoever person, and I think it's 3 per round, right?
Well, in the book it says you have to roll that random, but I mean,
It's not. I don't agree with that only because beholders are supposed to be extra paranoid. They're not gonna do something at random. They don't do anything at random.
I would say the only caveat is just like think of it as for me, so that way I'm not constantly hitting something with a disintegration ray. Be like, okay, you're an asshole. Just have it be like, if I am going to choose a ray, that ray has a 1-round cooldown. So I'm like, okay, I can't reuse that ray. You know, just to kind of make it
use it sparingly. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna go with the first. The first one is just charm. You just use charm, 120 foot ray, wisdom saving throw, and use it for the characters who obviously don't have a good wisdom saving throw. Fighters. You know, so yes, Charm Ray is one of the first ones. Andrew.
Next one is the Paralyzing Ray. It uses Constitution, and it paralyzes the target for a whole minute.
That's what, six rounds?
Yeah, that's 10 rounds.
10 rounds. Sorry. Yeah.
Now the target gets to make a saving throw at the end of each round, but still, if you're paralyzed and you have minions, that not only is that advantage on attacks against the paralyzed enemy, but every attack is an automatic crit against that.
Yep.
So that's where again,
use it on that wizard. Pew!
Oh yeah, and then just have everyone just beat the fuck out of him. You know?
Pretty much. I mean, honestly,
his dick and twist.
Awesome. Oh my god! This is a beholder fan encounter.
Twist his dick.
Oh my god!
You old dick twist.
Meanwhile, the gnome wars was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my god, dude! This is a beholder fight, dude.
People are like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Just link the video.
I'll link the video. I'll put it in the description. Anyways.
Yeah, just for context next to it.
Yeah. So after the paralyzing ray is the fear ray, which is a wisdom saving throw. Again, you have pretty much the whole range here, and they're frightened for 1 minute, which is great for like somebody who's like really fast and always coming at you, like the rogue or the fighter, obviously. But most rogues don't have wisdom that high.
Well, yeah, you also have to think about it. If they get hit with fear, if I remember correctly about the fear status, they have to use their maximum amount of movement to get away from you. So that's when you hit that monk with fear, and then so all that extra monk movement is now working against them.
Yes.
Because now they're like 120 feet away again.
Yeah. Obviously, they stop as soon as they break eyesight, but they can't get back in until after they're done with their fear.
Yeah,
you know, they'll be like around the corner, like, is it gone yet? No, it's not.
Yeah, this is probably one of the eye rays. It's like not immediately useful, like it doesn't immediately pop out at you. Yeah. But if you play it right, it can be really good. And also, this would be really good in a non-combat setting.
Yeah,
like you're dealing with a beholder and like, okay, I don't like this guy's attitude.
Get away from me. Yeah, and I feel like this is why important, and I wish I could go back in time so I can prep for that. But like, know the weakness of each one of your players. Like, write them down and be like, for the wizard, Constitution. For the fighter, because especially for a beholder.
For the cleric, none, unfortunately.
Because you're gonna be keeping track of so many things. Do yourself a favor and don't try to like keep track by memory of each person's weakness or weakest saving throw. But then after that is the Slowing Ray,
which they have to make a dexterity. They have to make a dexterity saving throw. You already talked about the fear ray. This is my turn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But they have to make a dex save, and if they get hit by it, they're essentially under the effect of the slow spell.
Yeah, which is cool.
It's almost exactly like the slow spell. Their speed is halved. They can only take one action or a bonus action. They don't get reactions. And that's pretty much it.
So if you have like a really slow player and you make it even slower, oh man,
this would be really good against. This would be really good against characters like the rogue or something, where it's like, oh, as a reaction, I can use my.
But it has rogues usually already have high dexterity saving throws.
This is also true, but so. I mean, if you do manage to. Well, I mean, every class has something that they can use as a reaction and something as a bonus action.
Right.
And so if you manage to like for instance the barbarian that I'm playing in Descendant Avernus right now, like it can defend players based on its reaction, and then as a bonus action it can do something else. So immediately that I'm crippled. Yeah. Even if I get like you know, even if I still get my attack action, all my other options are cut off at that point.
Right.
So yeah.
And then the one that I never used, I think it's an Innervation Ray.
Innervation, I believe.
Yeah. So it's a Constitution saving throw, and if you fail, you take 8d8 necrotic damage, or half as much as successful. 8d8. That's painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's straight up just damage, dude.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that's. Yeah, exactly. This is one of the ones that like
the wizard's just gonna get all of them.
It's just like Alex Murphy at the beginning of RoboCop.
Yeah,
just like
the beholder has it like in the cone of anti-magic, and then it blinks and then shoots all at once.
Oh my god, that scene fucking traumatized me as a kid. I don't know why my mom let me watch that when I was 7.
I think
anyway,
because it's a robot, so it's for kids.
Oh, it's RoboCop. They don't see the fact that Alex Murphy gets fucking liquefied in the beginning.
All right.
So next one. So then the next one is I like this one because this can be pretty creative. Is the Telekinetic Ray. It's a strength saving throw, and which is like. Why a strength saving throw? Whatever. Anyways, so it's a strength saving throw, and if they fail, they move 30 feet in any direction of the beholder's choosing. Which, why would you do anything other than up?
Yeah,
so
right.
Take fall damage. Yeah, just launch them up.
So if you make, it would be fun if you make like a layer, and the layer of the beholder, then the top is a fan, like a really fast like blades.
Oh, dude. Or no, just have like spikes.
Oh yeah.
But also on top of that, it doesn't just hit creatures. It can also hit things too. So it's just it says as long as it's 300 pounds or less, it can launch it. Yeah, well, yeah, duh.
It's a 299 block of cement.
0.97 block of cement, but then a feather falls on it, and it falls
right.
Like, well,
I can't do it.
I got nothing, man. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm restricted by the. I'm lawful evil.
He is a lawful evil creature. Wait. Can you weigh that real quick?
Yeah.
With the feather on it. Don't take the feather off.
Yeah. Ted, can you just like kind of? But damn no, it, I mean, because what's it? The I want to say the telekinesis spell has stats for like, yeah, if it weighs this much, it's going to do this much bludgeoning damage. So this is, remember in the dynamic combat where we were like, no, use the environment. It should be great against enemies. Well, now we're flipping the script on this one. So
it also works for the DMs.
Yeah, you might be wondering why there's a lot of like stone foldable chairs for some reason.
Oh my god, he has a chair!
Where did he get that from? Actually, I think it'd be really neat if you use a telekinetic ray to grab a player's weapon out, and like they have to make the strength throw against it, and then it just like smacks them with their own like warhammer.
That'd be great. And then he just drops it for him to pick up.
Yeah, how does that fucking feel? Not very nice, I bet.
And then after that we have Sleep Ray, which it makes you go night-night. Very, very self-explanatory. Oh man, just choose all the debilitating ones and just sleep paralysis, stone skin, or whatever the fuck. You fly up and that's it. Like first round.
Well, I think what's really neat about the sleep ray is that unlike the sleep spell where it's like, okay, they have to be under a certain amount of HP, it's just no, it's a yes or no.
Right.
Like, did you make this throw? Okay.
I forgot about that. The actual spell needs to have like a
there's like a weird threshold for HP. But no, this one, no, you're sleeping now. So, can you just imagine the fighter's like, oh
yeah, he just falls on the floor and slides.
And then like the next round, like it fails its it fails its wisdom saving throw, so it's just like it just like kind of twitches.
It doesn't twitch. Yeah. All right, then the next one. You're next.
Oh, sorry. I was like, okay, we're waiting. The petrification. The I could try this. Hold on. Let me
do it. I believe in you. It is your native language. Come on.
Petrification Ray.
Now spell it backwards.
Huh?
Now spell it backwards.
No,
I'm kidding.
But I think this is actually one of the meaner ones where it's just, okay, make me, was it a dexterity saving throw? Oh, you failed and you're stoned now.
Yep, that's straight up.
Wait, what? No, you're stoned now. Oh, well, when does it end? It doesn't.
Yep, it has to be a greater restoration. Oh, wait, let's get that away.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, no. Let's see, hold on. Oh, okay, no. It gets one more turn to make a dexterity saving throw because how it's, I think how the petrification status is described is that like it starts like feet up, so they're restrained, they can't move, and the petrification is slowly taking them over, so they get one more round to make a dexterity saving throw, and then if they fail, they're just a statue now. They're just... which would actually be a really good way to turn like the what's the word, the stereotype on its head, and you'd be like, oh, you're entering a cave and there's a bunch of statues. People like, oh no, it's a Medusa. Ha, bitch, it's a beholder.
It's so much worse than what I thought.
We weren't ready.
You ask your players to do a nature check to see if they can figure out what's happening here, but it's like not high enough. It's like, yeah, it's a Medusa for sure.
Yeah, it's all it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did we bring the laser shield? This is actively working against us now because like now the lasers are pew, 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 pew.
Oh shit. And then we get to the mean ones.
Yeah, this is the actual mean one.
Yeah, so Disintegration Ray. If the target is a creature, it must succeed on a DC saving throw, a dexterity saving throw, or take 10d8 force damage. If this damage reduces the creature to 0 hit points, its body becomes a pile of fine dust. If the target is a large or small non-magical creature, create a magical force disintegrated without a saving throw. Okay, cool. So if it's not like an actual living thing, it just dies. Damn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, if you remember back from our like healing or like our reviving spell episode, I think a true resurrection or a wish spell is the only thing that can bring back a pile of dust.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If for every other resurrection spell, or no, you can also do reincarnate as well. But then there's the off chance that you're not going to come back. There's a very likely chance that you're not going to come back as the person that you were before. So, but if you want to be like, no, I'm really attached to this character, you need to bring me back. Well, you're going to be hawking up a lot of gold for that one diamond that's like worth like 100,000 or some crap like that.
Especially if you're in Baldur's Gate.
Yep. So what? so a character gets hit by a disintegration ray. Well, I guess we're going to be doing a heist now to bring this guy back. Are you sure you just don't want to roll up another character? It would be actually cheaper that way, just in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and then the last one. Bring it home, Andrew.
It's the Death Ray. This one's actually this one. I was like, oh, cool, Death Ray. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage, but you can survive.
It's essentially just a stronger version of the Innervation Ray, where if you make a dex save and on a fail, you make a dex saving throw, or you take 10d10 necrotic damage, and if you get to 0, you're dead. No death saving throws, just dead.
Yep.
So
which I mean 10 to 10 that could be a lot of damage, but it also really relies on what level the player characters are.
Yes.
So
I can see this more as like you soften them up with like the Innervation Ray and stuff like that, and then you finish them with the Death Ray.
Yeah, or you can just go all Death Ray with all 10 eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, why?
Shit. So yes, that's why they are terrifying. And like I said earlier, I think the most important thing for DMs to remember is to don't try to memorize the weaknesses. Write down the like what it's gonna
their lowest like saving throw.
Yeah, for each one of them, and remember that. And then in a piece of paper like death rate for what is the death rate? Dexterity.
Death Ray the death rates for dexterity, innervations for
right.
constitution.
Right. So death rate 2, I don't know, barbarian, or like whatever to dexterity or the rogue or stuff like that, and like just
Or
hit him down.
dexterity be more like strength based fighters
Right.
slash
Right.
literally any spell class.
Yeah.
The only big difference between the beholder and the death tyrant is just the main eyeball, which I was wrong about the negative energy cone. They don't not come back from it. You can't heal while in a negative energy cone.
Oof.
And if you die while in a negative energy cone, you come back as a zombie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, so we went through all these rays. These rays apply to each of the other type of beholders. Yeah. It's just that some of them get 4, some of them get 6. And that's pretty much it. Like.
Yeah.
Or
There are, I want to say the Goth has like has like rays that are like depowered and stuff like that. Like every other besides the Death Tyrant. The Death Tyrant's the only one where I think the rays get stronger, but every other beholder, like the rays are kind of turned down a little bit.
Right. I'm not saying that they do the same amount of damage, but like the names of them translate. Like it's they're evolving. They're becoming stronger as they get closer to a beholder.
For some reason, a beholder has really good natural armor. It has more than a storm giant.
Well, we already talked about storm giants.
Speaking of okay. Remember how I said I'm going to look in the 3.5 book for giants to see if there's anything different? There wasn't. It's literally the exact same thing. Yeah.
Why?
Except for the fact that the storm giants have an AC of 27. As opposed to 16.
That makes a lot more sense to me. Like, don't give whatever, no armor or whatever, but like, give them a.
Now, granted, the base attack bonus for 3.5, which is essentially the proficiency bonus, the base attack bonus is a little bit higher than it is in 5e, but still like 27. That's a big thing to hit.
Which makes sense to me. But But anyways, we already talked about giants, and that was, I think, most of the stuff we have on a beholder, unless you had anything like more.
And I mean, no, just in terms of beholders themselves, that's all we got.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, it, like I said, pretty much everything else just kind of cut out more rays or make them smaller, and you have all the other beholders. But I really want to touch on their layers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Because a beholder is only as good as its lair.
Yep.
So I've told you this before. Upon reading Volo's guide, I said, Jose, I want to make a one-shot, or more like a two-parter, where the entire thing is just getting from the entrance to the exit of a beholder's lair, because it's described in Volo's guide that because a beholder is so paranoid, naturally it's going to be studying up on anything that tries to come into its lair, and because it's so paranoid and so like determined to stop anything, you can throw everything into a beholder's lair and be like, well, you need to read the source material because that's what it says. like a beholder's lair should be a death trap.
Right.
Like nothing comes out of a beholder's lair unless a beholder says it can.
Yeah.
And this is the point where you throw like glyphs and like glyphs that counteract that glyph doesn't go off, and then traps that lead into other traps that will get triggered. This trap doesn't kill you, kind of a thing. Yes. Oh, I said kind of a thing. God damn it! I went the whole fucking episode without saying it.
Or like the level of the Tomb of the Nine Gods that I was describing. There was mold all around that level, and each time they will touch a mold, an eyeball will pop up. If they attack that eyeball, another eyeball will show up and shoot them with one of the 10 random rays.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was like a thing through the whole level, and then it will just go away. My players didn't really touch it too much because it was purple mold, but I mean, in real life, would you touch purple mold too?
No. So, no, especially I imagine it was probably like bubbling or some crap like that.
Yeah. I mean, they did see some of the eyeballs show up, but they didn't attack the eyeballs. Which I was like, damn it!
but it's as like how we said a beholder encounter should be the perfect counter for every class. The lair should be also the perfect counter for every class. Like, okay, you got not a barbarian. That was a bad choice. But like, you got a cleric. All right, this room just requires deck saves, and if you want to make it extra mean, have it be like, okay, you walk through the the archway of a beholder's lair, and you step on an unseen glyph, and the party gets split up.
And God!
Now they all have to face their personal hell.
Yes, I'm imagining like the Tomb of Annihilation, but nothing makes sense. Like I know that Tomb of Annihilation. I'm sorry, not Tomb of Annihilation. Tomb of Horrors. I know that Tomb of Horrors, nothing really makes sense, but at least it's like themed, like it's like all like Egyptian and bullshit, and you can kind of like figure things out. I just imagine like I think if your players are not angry at you as they're going through the freaking dungeon to their lair, you're doing a bad job, because legitimately every hallway should just not make sense.
No, it needs it. I mean, because you have to think about it. The beholder, it doesn't walk.
Right.
It doesn't move by conventional means. So like it should just be. I mean, it should be like the way to get to the beholder's nest. It's just like a vertical tube.
Yeah.
That just goes up. Yeah.
And I would like to imagine that it's like very smooth, so you can't scale it just with your hands.
It hits it with this disintegration ray. So it's like a perfectly smooth. Like that way, nobody can climb up here.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you do, there's a trap right on top waiting for something.
Like just in case.
Maybe like a perfect disc of like concrete. Just there's no gap, and it just goes down perfectly.
Yep. Yeah. And okay, now you have to deal and it needs. It, like I said, it needs to be the dungeon is just an adventure.
Yeah.
Just getting from point A. I would honestly take inspiration from Tomb of Horrors and just, okay, what's the most bullshit thing I can take from this? Dude, rip that part out.
The gates that change your alignment, the gates that change your sex, and then the gates that teleports all of your armor to an undisclosed place in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
You walk through this gate and all of the things just disappear. Yep. You're naked.
You're a paladin. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they're good. Well, good luck with your armor. And by the way, all the halls are soaked in anti-magic. So. Yep,
that kind of bullshit because.
So no auras, no smiting, no.
Yeah, and like
nothing like that.
And it sounds cruel, but like in all reality, I think that will be a hell of an insane adventure, as long as the players know, hey. You know, you were trapped by a beholder and you managed to escape. Now you need to find the exit type situation. Yeah. You know, like the adventure is not facing the beholder. The adventure is surviving until you make it out.
Yeah, and at that point, I would probably make the beholder fight like a victory lap.
Right.
Like, hey, you got this far.
Right.
Do you remember that time that you as the wizard had to go through an obstacle course of like flaming arrows and ropes and stuff? Now you can take your aggression out of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wallop the shit out of him with your quarter staff.
Just poke him in the eye. Oh my
god. Just take your orb and throw it at him.
Yeah.
I mean, I would honestly say this would be the moment where if you're gonna homebrew an adventure like that, just go crazy. Yeah. No holds bar, because it, like I said, it describes it. A beholder is paranoid to the point that it has contingency plans on top of contingency plans on top of contingency plans.
Yep.
And it's like, no, you're not leaving this place alive.
Yep. So. But yeah, so it's very important. I agree 100% with the layer. The layer needs to make as little sense as possible, because a human would not know how to like. We all think of like dungeons of like, oh, there's rooms for the guards to eat. There is a treasure room somewhere. There is a library.
The beholder wouldn't have that.
No,
because the beholder does not give a fuck about its underlings. Like,
exactly.
Why are you eating on the job?
Right, exactly.
Didn't you eat yesterday?
Damn mortals having to nourish themselves.
God, they're just constantly eating and shitting. That's all they do.
Yeah, he wouldn't build toilets or anything.
What's a toilet? You mean you just don't disintegrate it away with your disintegration eyes?
Yeah, so beholders, man, they will give you a headache, but if you really prep really well and know all your characters' flaws and weaknesses, it will be a memorable fight.
It's definitely one of those monsters where just having it in the game. Like just plopping it out of the monster manual and just putting it in the game is already like enough sometimes. Yeah. But then if you really want to ramp it up to the nth degree, if you really want to get all the juice that you can out of a Beholder experience, it can be something that's like 10 years down the road. Hey, remember that Beholder fight? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Damn you. All right. So we talked about Beholders. Now let's talk about my favorite part of every episode. Session highlights.
The news. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to say, before you go any further, I don't think this is a segment where we talk about session highlights. I think this is going to be the segment where we talk about the campaign highlight.
Why?
Because I feel like so far this has been the best session of this campaign.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you talking about?
I think this whole session was a session highlight, honestly, from like beginning to end. Personally, I feel like it was hitting on all 6 cylinders the entire time.
I did a little line of cocaine before I started. It burns more than I thought it was going to.
Kristen, it burns.
She pours a little teapot to like clean my nuts. Yeah. My nuts.
How much baking soda did you get into it? I didn't. You did it.
Anyway, so you want to talk about the session highlight?
Okay, so we're in. Oh God, I can't remember the name of the village. Unfortunately, it was like a
Eglindale.
England.
Yeah, it's a weird name.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember it.
The village.
So we were in this village called Yinglingdale, and we traveled back in time, but not really.
Right.
It was like kind of ambiguous what exactly happened.
Yeah.
But it was during a second Null invasion of this town, and everything was going bad because apparently this town spent all of its money on a giant fucking statue instead of defenses, which is something that we established in the session before this one. Because the map has like this huge like 100-foot statue that's like as wide as it is tall, but the rest of the town's just like fucking wood houses and crap. I'm like, well, gee, there's your fucking problem. Anyways. So we're going through this town as like these gnolls and demons and or devils are like
not demons.
They're demons. That's right. Are like destroying it, and we're fighting our way through, and things just keep ramping up, and it's just a good 3/4 of it was just us fighting, and it was just like, okay, is this ever going to slow down? And we actually thought that like Jose was just throwing like things at us, and there was a point where like some guards showed up and they were covered in demon ichor, and we were all trying to like vie for. I'm going to talk about that part. Hold on, I will. And we were all trying to vie for who can do the most damage. And Heather's character Quintessence kind of jumped the gun a bit. It's like fireball, and then when that happened, she got struck by a bolt of lightning and took 5 levels of exhaustion from it. So she was just like comatose, and then fucking Yanagu shows up. Just
actual Yanagu
just walks up, just, hey guys, what's up? Fucking one shots Quintessence right then and there, just rips her open like a fucking Dr. Pepper can, and because she's a Warforged. And so we're like, all right, let's all square up and like take on this thing, and we are immediately losing. Like it's just like, oh, this is not going our way. Like Varric's down to like 2 health within like a turn, and I'm like, and even though I'm raging and taking a lot of resistance, I'm like, this is an uphill fight. We're just like, this is not going our way. And then Zariel comes in. She's like, "Be not afraid," and just like blows up the town, and then we die.
Wait, what?
No, that's what I remembered. No. Like Zariel like drives off Yanagu and it's like, "Oh, you guys kind of chipped in a bit. Thanks for kind of cleaning up the trash while I was gone." And what's it? We're all kind of healed, and we get like some charms and boons and stuff like that. And Quintessence is brought back to life, but she still has just 5 levels of exhaustion. Because I guess even for a Celestial, I'm sorry, man, you gotta sleep this one off. And so then we're brought back to the Bleeding Citadel, and it comes to the point. It comes to the part where the whole campaign's kind of led up to this moment, where the sword of Zariel was right there in front of us, and it's quite literally like a sword in the stone sort of thing, where it's like whoever can draw this,
whoever claims the sword is no more.
Yeah, and becomes the king of England. That's
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
saying the same thing. So naturally, Crad, our fallen oathbreaker paladin, he's like, all right, let's do this thing, and his whole arc was like, okay, I'm going to get redemption here, and he grabs the sword, and he's actually so unworthy for it. He starts taking damage or something like that, or like his hands start
burning.
Yeah, and his sword's
it started as the sword started feeling like if it were like when you reach your hand out to the sunlight to block it, like it's just a little bit warm, like life. But then eventually it was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, and like the sword was communicating with him, like you oh, you've broken your oaths and abandoned your people, like you're not worthy to like have the sword, and he keeps tugging on it until eventually the sword's like, dude, just let go, man. Like you're not getting this. And then for some reason everyone's like, all right, Andrew, it's your turn. I'm like, what the fuck? When did I? All right. So I went up there and I gave it a tug, and it didn't pop out. I'm like, all right, well, I did all I could. I don't know what you want me to do. And I think this is the really neat part, was that he didn't step up and say, now it's my turn or something like that. We were all like, all right, Varric, it's got to be you, man. Like he was the only one that could open the door for the Bleeding Citadel, and like this entire time he's a lawful good orc. And so it was kind of leading up to this moment, and he grabs the sword and he takes it out, and Varric disappears, and this like new like angelic orc thing shows up in front of him with like glowing eyes and like 90 speed flight wings and like a big old glowing sword and shit, and it was awesome. But now we're going to talk about that part. So in between the beginning and the end of that session, we were fighting. It was like what was it? It was a Null Marlith or something like that. Yeah. It was essentially a Marlith that was reskinned for a Null.
Right.
And what's it? Like we didn't actually out and out say it, but like me and Crad were trying to see who could do the most damage. And it would have been me, Crad, and Varric, but Varric was restrained this whole time. And then Crad's like, oh, I'm going to put it in darkness and try to do some other spells, and it didn't really work out. So it's just like, okay, Crad, you need to get rid of that darkness, because now it's actually biting us in the ass.
Wait, hold on before you keep going. My favorite part of that bit was when, like, in character, he's surrounded by darkness, and you guys cannot see the Mirrorlith, and you cannot see Varric, right?
Yeah.
But Karpuk can hear him, and there's like sounds of battle and whatever. So Karpuk looks into like the void, and he's like, "Yeah, Varric, you're doing it, yeah." And
and he describes like blood splashing out. I'm like, "Yeah, you get him, Varric." Yeah, it was like meanwhile, Varric, you're taking like 47 slashing damage.
Yeah, it was like a massive amounts of damage. But Karpuk thought that it was the other way around. And then when Crad takes the darkness away, I describe it like he's being held by the snake, right? By the snake body. And he just has like gashes and blood everywhere. The realization on Karpuk was just priceless.
Yeah. So then Crad hits this Marlith with I want to say it was a crit smite, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like it was a critical hit
30,
smite.
30 something, yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, and he does like 40, I want to say it was like 45 damage to it.
I think it did 40 something, you did 50 something.
Yeah, well no. It wasn't that far apart. Like we were like 2 points away from each other. Yeah. And so he does like 45 damage. And then I'm hitting it with my rage, and I think I'm either a little under or a little over. I forget. It was either 44 or 46. So we're like, like we're getting really close. And then Orange shows up.
Wait, you have to describe how he shows up though.
Okay. So Orange, the little gnome wizard. We we've pretty much come to agree that he's going to live in the crock pot on my back because I have cooking utensils and one of them's like a big old stock pot. And we asked Jose, like, hey, can he fit in the stock pot? And you're like, yeah, sure, why not? So now it's just like he's on my back the entire time. So where I move, he goes. And so then so then I hit the monolith, and the way it worked out was actually really perfect because Oren was right after me in initiative.
Yeah.
So it'd be like I would hit and then turn around, and then Oren would do his thing. So I hit the monolith for however much damage, and then I turn around, and Oren just comes out and just blam, just like hits this guy with the disintegration spell. It was something like 72 dude. It was 74 damage. It just wipes this guy. Just dusts him.
What I love about that part is that, because I describe it as like a slow motion bit when like Korpug turns around, and then with the motion, Oren, the gnome, like shoots up in slow motion, and I thought he was gonna do like, I don't know, magic missile or something, and then like shoots it out or something, because he's been doing that. But and the creature had 74 hit points left. And by the way, if he would have hit 50, he would have teleported away. So that fight was about to be over, right?
Oh, okay.
So he had 74 points away. So I was thinking, oh, he's going to do this much damage, and then I'll just end it so we can move on to the next thing. 74 hit points, and then he had a +5 on dexterity. And Oren is like, I'm gonna use Disintegration Ray. I don't know.
Also, didn't he have like advantage on saving throws against spells or something like that?
Yeah. So not only did he have advantage against saving throws against spells, he had +5 to dexterity, and if the ray missed, like if he made the pass, if he passed the check, nothing would have happened.
Yeah, right? No damage. It's an all or nothing attack.
So he shoots it. And the first thing I see is that it pops up and it's 74 hit points, exactly what needed to hit to kill it in one go. And I'm like, oh man, if this happens, it's gonna be great. I did not think by a long shot that it was gonna happen. But I roll the dexterity saving throw, and I rolled, I think it was like a 13 and like a 4. That's with with a +5 and advantage. Dude, I lost my shit. I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, so Karpak wheels around, and with the momentum, Oren comes flying out of this stock pot, and there's like doves somehow that came out of the stock pot with it.
The things on to face off plays in the background.
Yeah, just John Woo style, just boom, right between the eyes. Just this Marla just turns the dust right in front of us. And it's funny because Howard was immediately like, all right, that's all I got, guys.
He didn't celebrate nothing. He was like, all right.
Yep, that was my only sixth level spell slot, so soak it in while you can. And then Yanagu showed up, and we're all like, Howard.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good part, man. My session highlight will have to be closer to the pulling of the sword. It was a couple of things, but I think the one that I liked the most, well, two things. The first thing that happened, it was that magical moment that every DM wants to happen, which is the characters role play by themselves without
and we all started like bickering amongst one another.
Yeah, and like it was so organic in many ways because Crud, he showed up late to the party, right? Because he was a Hell Rider that had been roaming Avernus for a while, whatever. He's looking for redemption. And it was very obvious, I think, to everybody that this was his redemption moment, right? Like, the sword of Serial, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. It would only make sense that his redemption would have to be something to do with, the thing that he broke his oath for.
Right. And even Crad, I think he 100% thought that this was going to be the moment. And, like, describing all of that strength that he had within himself, and then all the shame, and then Armando playing along, and the fact that he couldn't do it at all. He tried 3 times. I thought he was gonna be done by like the second. I was like, okay, it's not me, guys. No, he tried 3 times, which allowed me to expand on what the sword was telling him.
And it actually got to a point that we were like, dude, it's
right.
Sorry,
and not as players, as characters.
Yeah.
You know? And like I described like that moment when like people are like talking about you because you're not doing the thing that you were supposed to be doing, like the awkward feeling type situation. So that was one of those moments, that whole development there, because it was like one of those like, oh yeah, he's gonna get the sword, obviously, and then he didn't. My second favorite part of that whole bit was the fact that at one moment when I was reading that whole thing, it clicked in my head that the one person that was gonna get the sword was Varric.
Yeah.
Because it was too obvious to be good that Cried was gonna get it. Like it doesn't make sense, right? Karpak has his halberd, and he is like a protector, but he's more of like an organic protector, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was like the way you described it, it's like, oh, you're a gentle giant and pure of heart, but you're not exactly what we're looking for.
Right.
Like,
And Varric, through the whole game, I've been giving people like magic items, all this stuff, all this like crazy shit's been happening. Through the whole game, he's just been like that silent, lawful protector that doesn't care if he has the biggest sword. He just does his best with what he has without asking for more. Right?
And yet somehow gets the play of the game almost every fucking session.
Yeah, exactly. But even when he does, he doesn't boast. We boast for him. In game and outside of game too.
And that's how I justified Karpak being like, yeah, get him, Varric. When he was just like, because every time it's something against Varric, like that thing's going to lose.
Yeah.
So this was the exception, not the rule.
Yeah. And it was like everybody was like forward, closer to the sword, and like positioning wise in the map. And Token was to the token, and Varric was to the back. His token was in the back of the line, you know. So like, it slowly dawned on everybody, because like the wizard, I think everybody kind of like accepted the fact that like, the tiny little gnome was not gonna pick up. We made a joke about it, but like people realized that the gnome was not gonna do well. And then
I actually like the fact that Heather as Quintessence like, no, I'm not worthy for this. I already know for the fact
straight up. She accepted.
So.
She's like, yeah, I'm not worthy for this stuff. She also had like 5 levels of exhaustion, and she had like a big old band-aid across her belly.
Yeah.
And it's
and really crabbily welded. Like,
yeah. So that was my second part, like the organic build up to this, and and my third part is probably my best moment as a DM was, and it was actually kind of painful. It was Quintessence, Heather's character, because Quintessence role plays, but she's not like a big role player. She's more about like the mechanics of the game. But at that moment, like it kind of broke my heart, because when everybody was realizing that the only other person that was gonna be able to do this was Varric.
Well, I mean, there's also some context between Quintessence and Varric.
Right. Like, so their backstory is that they were war buddies for a while, even before Quintessence became a war forge, and essentially it was like a Fullmetal Alchemist bit, like, you know, she died and her soul got put into the Warforged thing, and then they've been together like as mercenaries for a very long time. They lost a lot of things, but they're always being like war buddies. This whole thing, and Quintessence, or Heather as Quintessence, goes and like says like she says that her character slowly realizes that because at this point also, the way that the sword was, like the whole like whoever picks up the sword is no more, everybody was 100% sure that character was gonna die. That was it. Like it was gonna be done.
Like even if I had like a 98% chance, or like a 98% positivity that like my character was not going to be worthy, but on that 2% chance, like, okay, this could be it. My guy could just fucking die right here, and you know.
And I think everybody was well aware of that. And like Quintessence just went and it's like, oh no, it can't be you. It cannot be you. You're. I can't lose to you. I'm already a hollow. She said, I cannot lose to you. I am already a hollowed out person. I will be nothing without you. And I was just like,
yeah,
I can't do this.
What I remember was that she said something like, "I don't want to lose my war buddy." I was
right. Yeah, it was
like it was the fact that they made their characters to have a sort of like relationship in the past, not like a romantic one,
right.
But like you know, they had a relationship in the past, and then on the fact that they are actually a couple in real life. Like it works on like a bunch of different levels, you know.
And like at that moment, dude, I was like, oh my god, This is like a first like organic story beat that felt genuine in so many different levels.
It was like that moment where the veil between characters and players kind of like really thinned out, you know?
Oh, and it was glorious. It was so glorious. And of course, he steps up to the game. He was like, "Well, if this is what needs to be done to save El Terrell and whatever and all this stuff that we've been doing, I guess I'm gonna have to do it." I'm sure 100% like thinking that he was just gonna like make a new character in the next session.
If I remember correctly, I think he says something to the effect of like, I don't want to do it, but it has to be done, kind of a deal.
Right.
So
and then like he went in there, he picked up the sword, and he became this fucking celestial type being. Technically, Varric is gone. He has a new character, you know, but it's like a Varric. Like, do you remember Atlantis, the Lost Empire?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when the girl walks into the crystal, and the crystal goes inside of her, and then she's like a mannequin with like immeasurable power, but she's not her anymore.
Yeah, Varric is now a vessel for whatever it is that's sword.
Happening. And and of course it ended there, but because it was already running kind of late. But it was such a great, and you're right. I think out of the whole campaign, we had tons of fun moments, tons of like laugh out loud moments. But like story beat, I think this was like the quintessential storytelling beat for this one specific campaign. Yep. And it played out beautifully. I was such a DM high after that. I was like, oh my god. And it was not the cocaine.
It kind of was the cocaine.
Yeah, which was it?
Jose, do you have allergies, man? You're really sniffly.
Oh yeah, it's the dogs. Yeah, the dogs.
I was baking a cake. I'm the flour got in my nose.
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, those were the out of the story moments in this campaign, that was one of the best ones probably. However, I was gonna say, I lost my train of thought.
I mean, this part had like everything. It had like
combat, amazing role play, interesting mechanics, laugh out loud moments, ridiculous jokes. You know, because even after like that's what I love our group. Because even after that beat with the bit with Quintessence and Varric. Like Varric like gave you like a high five, right? Because you were and then she turns at Alex. She's like, "What the fuck, man? I'm your war buddy. Why are you not saying-"
Exactly. Varric's like, "All right, I gotta say goodbye," and then he's like, "Garpa," sets up like he's gonna talk to Quintessence. And goes, "Garpak." Yeah. I just want you to know.
But yeah, it was a great session. If you guys want to watch it, I mean, it's available. I put the highlights for these two bits that we talked, the Orin one and the sword, claiming the sword of Serial. The highlights are on our Twitch, but the full episode is there as well if you wanna watch it. Ugh, man. Whew, Andrew, any other news? You have any news that you want to share? Anything?
Is there any news?
No. Not really.
No. Well, then there you go.
There was an announcement. Well, they've been like revealing little bits of Ravenloft, but I think I'm gonna hold off on that until the book actually comes out.
The last thing I remember them announcing was that they said there was going to be 5 products.
Right. Apparently, yeah. Usually we get 3 products. We get a supplement and 2 adventures per year. I think that's
it's usually like a supplement and then a minor adventure and then a major adventure. Yeah.
But apparently somebody spilled the beans when they were talking, and they mentioned that there was going to be 5 products this year. So I'm excited for that.
Come on, Spelljammer.
They're not gonna do Spelljammer. Are you kidding me? They're gonna do Ravenloft with a different
part
cover.
2, part 3.
No, same, but it's the same as Curse of Strahd, just with a different cover. Like it says Curse of Strahd with a different cover.
But with a different cover.
Yeah.
We're gonna have even more Magic the Gathering settings.
Oh God.
Everyone has been wanting Spelljammer. It's been like the most highest rated thing. Like I think next to Dark Sun, like the most voted for thing.
Yeah. No, it has.
Give the people what they want.
Kevin says it was a great session. Thank you, Kevin. By the way, Kevin, thank you for sticking around to our sessions. Like it makes it so much better to have like somebody just kind of like talking and like putting their 2 cents or laughing at jokes and stuff like that. It really feels nice. And then he says, "Sorry, I haven't been talking. I'm listening and making flaming fist and enlistment forms." Yes, you're about to start your campaign. He's also about to start running Descendants.
No. Flaming fist enlistment is wrong. Flaming fist conscription is the right word you want. Like, no, you have to work for us, or we will break your fucking legs.
No pressure, but I love pressure.
I hope you aren't attached to your legs, because you won't be for long.
Shit. Well, if we don't have any news, I think that's all we have for this episode. Andrew, do you have anything?
Kevin, don't hold back on the first fight.
Yeah, don't.
And don't let them use the grease spell. Have one of the bandits no counter spell for some reason.
Yeah. It's like a really dirty, like ragged person.
I knew this would come in handy. Just for some reason.
My old man taught me this one specific spell.
Yeah.
I don't know how to read. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Why?
he learns that he's actually a sorcerer this whole time. That's his and now he's the NPC. Like,
yeah, that's the one bandit captain that got like the magical adept feat, so he knows one spell from whatever class.
Kevin says, "Well, hopefully we can start soon. Waiting for our local restrictions to be released." Yeah, I don't know how soon that's gonna be. Yeah.
Sign up for those vaccinations, boys.
Yeah, you get your first vaccination. Anyways, so I'm gonna end the episode. Andrew, you have anything you want to share?
Nope.
Let's call. Let's call.
No.
All right.
I'm done with this.
So, thank you everybody for joining us one more time in an episode of A Talk of Opportunity. Hopefully, you learned something new, something interesting, or at least had one of those like what do they call it? It's not a laugh. It's a Excel, like a like a lol.
Oh, but yeah, like hopefully you sharply exhaled out of your nose.
You sharply exhale out of your nose, yeah. And beholders, learn every single ray. Do not try to memorize your players' saving throws. Just make notes. Make sure to make their layers as crazy as possible.
Beholders, be a dick.
Yeah. I mean, if you have something against your players, which you shouldn't really, but if you do, just throw some beholders.
I mean, you can honestly justify any other monster, like, oh, like a lich wouldn't do this because maybe it like respects power or something like that. But no, like a beholder would be like,
yeah, it does not. It does not give a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Make sure to join us Wednesdays for live sessions that we do in Twitch and Facebook. Leave us a comment, leave us a review, whatever you're listening to our podcast. And make sure to hit that little notification bell so you can get a notification when we go live.
Ring that bell.
Like, the notification bell. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.
Bye.